Hello.
Good evening, November Foxtrot. Welcome to another exciting episode of the November Foxtrot
exciting,
podcast. It is exciting. Episode 120.
Yo.
120 episodes in. That is a very, very reasonable achievement.
I think so.
It's a big old number.
I think we should finish it there.
Big old number.
Good night.
Yep.
Yeah.
Start counting down at this point. Just go back to 119 and 118.
Start reversing.
Hi, Call Sign Chewbacca, Kenny Rebel, Fresh Meat, Mark, Matthew McCarthy,
Evening, all.
1968. Evening, ladies. How are we all doing?
Rage.
Yeah, all right.
Good, mate. Nice to be back. Shamold.
Hi, Nick.
Yep.
Hello, Nick. Welcome along, sir.
Yes.
Oh, good.
Causing arguments with my rear
Anthony's
neighbours.
Airsoft. Hello, evening all. Welcome in.
Anthony's Airsoft.
I don't think we've seen you before, Anthony's Airsoft, so
No.
welcome.
Welcome, Anthony's Airsoft.
Anthony's.
Hopefully it won't be your last.
Anthony's.
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 Not Anthony's.
Not Anthony's. Anthony's.
Hi, Les. Hi, Silly Gilly.
Anyway,
Hello,
sorry.
Les.
Yeah.
Hello, Silly Gilly.
We get carried
He
away.
got loads of
easily.
shout outs there, and he got bare shout outs. So
Yeah,
you just joined.
He's like, oh my god, what have I logged into?
She's like, I'm clicking off this now.
Yeah.
The entire podcast is about you for the rest of the hour. Oh, blimey. Normally watch on
there's loads of
Facebook.
people.
Cool. Hi, Danny. Hi, Pony Tony. James. Welcome. We're obviously doing a Q&A tonight, so if you have any questions, please throw them in the chat. If you could start with a little or a big Q,
Light bulb moment.
it just helps identify those as we're going through.
As questions.
To start the show, yep. Yes. Let's
Completely through him.
well
Did you
done,
see that? He's
Lars.
like,
You threw me a little bit, yeah.
What are we doing, Mike?
Cool. Let's roll into the news.
I take my gun and I go pew 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 pew.
News.
News.
We're back.
Pew.
That's disgusting. I don't know.
Oh,
It's so dirty.
creepy. Hi,
It's
Dan.
awful.
Hi,
It
Harry
is
Badger.
awful. Why is my thing doing that? It's annoying me, man.
So,
Lots of Dans
first
this
bit of
evening.
news.
There's a lot of Dans.
Lots
It's Dan.
That's
It's National
news.
Dan
First bit of
Day.
news.
It's Dan Appreciation
National
Day.
Dan Day. Yeah.
Sorry,
First
Mike's
bit of
not
news.
Sorry, Mike.
Some twat is impersonating us on Twitter. So
Hey.
we
I
have
wouldn't
now
say
got
there
a
was
Twitter
a twat.
account.
I'd say quite touched by that.
Well, okay.
What's the
Depends
thing?
on what they're
The
peddling
flattery?
our emblem as, though, doesn't it? Really.
They
Isn't
are
it?
very heavily branding us on
They're doing,
on Twitter.
yeah, they're doing better than we do. So we should just let them roll with it. That's fine.
Oh,
Carry on.
we never had twittings, did we? Twitterings.
No.
What's it
We
called?
now have a Twitter account. So
We
if
Twitter.
anyone would like to follow us on Twitter, we won't be tweeting much, but I have to have a Twitter account to report the other Twitter account.
How do you do Twitter?
Yeah, how do we twit? How do we twit?
I don't know. I've worked out how to tweet. I have tweeted. We have put a tweet out. It says new Twitter feed because someone is impersonating us. So yeah, there we go. Oh, it really
gonna
hit
have to
hard
download-
home.
And for all you newcomers, here's a picture of my ass. I don't even know. Can you put pictures on Twitter? I have no idea.
I think you
I
can.
don't know. I've never been on Twitter. Let's have a little look. Well, that's a lie. I went on Twitter when I first went on it, insulted the Argentinian president, and then got kicked off.
Well, let that be a lesson to you. No one goes around just doing that willy-nilly.
Well, if anyone's interested, we are not the Twitter account that is liking the Air and Sea Intel Agency from the US Navy, nor are we liking such groups as Reuters, Lebanon Files, Al Jadid News, Les Observators. Basically, there's a lot of very heavy content that we don't get into that they seem to like.
Sounds very much like you, Mike. I'm not going to lie.
It's really not.
It sounds like a Russian bot. Yay, we got
Yes,
hacked by Putin.
It's because, yeah,
If anyone's trying to find us, it is
it's because
at
of that
NoFo
one
chat.
person that listened to our show in Ukraine. Now the Ruskies have got hold of it.
No, didn't. Wasn't there
No,
like
we've got
3 downloads in Russia? We're
We've got
officially
seven
their
Russian downloads.
we're officially their training video. No wonder they're losing.
I'd like to think they'd be winning all of us. But that's just me. Shouldn't sell yourself short, Andy. Don't sell yourself short, mate.
We're giving them all the discount codes for Prepper Shop. That's what we're
Yeah.
doing out stuff.
So, as Kenny asks, there will be a cease and desist letter being issued. But can I just make as a general thing? Please, if anyone's out there thinking, oh, you know what? I should set up a fake November Foxtrot account. Fuck off! Stop doing it. It's annoying.
Yeah.
It only gives Mike a load of work. Actually, Lance, we just set up a load of accounts.
Let's do that. Just thinking that myself, yeah.
We'll get some
Literally
more
just
arse
thinking
pictures of him.
Well, that's a nice cheery bit of news to start the show with.
Yeah, we
there
now
you
have
go.
Twitter. Hey, tweet.
We have Twitter.
I've also got a little bit of purchase come in. So I've got 2 of these X-Lite dry sacks, 1 litre. These are from Highlander. My plan is to actually brand these with a little white paint pen so that I will use certain dry sacks for certain things. So I will have an electrical items dry sack. That's
What
as
are you
far
going
as
to
I
write
got
on the
with that
bag
planning.
to identify it?
Electrical items.
Or
Lecky-
I'll just do a little lightning symbol. Like Harry
Lecky
Potter.
bits. Lecky bits.
Lecky bits works.
Me
Lecky
lecky,
bits in my dry
Yeah.
sack.
me lecky tings.
Yeah. Edibles would be
They're
num
lecky.
nums.
Yeah, edible bags, num nums.
Num nums.
Can you do it now? Can you write them on there now?
Yeah, can you write
No,
num
I'm
nums
not
on there
writing
now?
No, not doing it
Officially.
now.
That
No,
needs to be.
The other little bit of news I would like to share is I bought a beanie.
Oh, why do you keep showing your used condom?
No, so I bought a
told you
beanie
not
because
to.
Lance said I look good in beanies.
I
And I
did
will
say. That's
share
not a
this
beanie,
because-
though.
That's not.
So this is a slouch beanie, and I would argue I don't look good in a slouch beanie.
It's on. You even got it on Squiff, though. You've got more
You got
material on your left side than you have in your... What?
Well, now you just look like a hipster.
I don't
Red
think
bin.
it's me. I
You
really
need some
think it's
dreadlocks
me.
to fill it up, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a little
I look more
tash.
like a
I reckon a
pirate.
little tash would look quite
Can't you put a few bits in it? Can't you like put a towel inside it and then just so it packs out a bit, then put it on your head so it hangs off the back a bit more, so it's a bit more rasta then because they feel it. They've got about 90 foot of dreadlocks to go in them. That's why they wear them. You need to pack it out.
Thanks,
a bit.
Les.
Looks like a bloodstained penis.
Is the beanie to go urban frubing? Take it off you like a rapist. Brilliant. Yeah, well, you can always
Yeah,
count on our
there we go.
audience to give you moral support and guidance and encouragement. That's what we like. Pleb. I think it's a big hit myself.
I think it's gone down really well.
I think you should. It took 2.5 years for us to embrace the Captain Condom hat. So
This was actually just us. This is actually just us releasing our new marketing. But I thought
glad,
it's gone
glad,
down
the,
really well.
glad the new merch has hit the ground running.
Yeah, so it was my intention to, as James says, get ready for Red Tide. I'm playing Cartel, so I thought I'd look cool. And it turns out that doesn't work. So,
You get given one of them. Just put that on when you get there,
Yeah, well, I'm going to. Well,
or put that on around that. Wear that and then put that round it. That might look a bit gangster.
that might help. Might help.
Maybe.
Les says rape bag and red beanie equals register.
Register.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Nice one. Well, thanks everyone for your support. It's really appreciated. Anybody else got some news?
Yeah. I got some new cam cream arrived. United States of American. And I love it how it's got paint, face, camouflage.
Yeah.
Not camouflage face
simple.
paint. Yeah,
Yeah.
face, paint, camouflage. Right. Oh, yes. Good.
With
That's
commas.
clearly
Apply
yeah.
with finger to dry skin. Thanks for that.
That's obviously a marine one, isn't it? Put on face. Do not
Face,
eat. Has it got do not
face,
eat written on
paint,
it with the crayons?
camouflage.
Although, having said that, yeah. So yeah, but it's cool. It's nice. It's easy to apply as well. So I look forward to trying this one out because I've got another couple coming along. Because we've spoke about it, didn't we? How cam cream doesn't last very long, or it just completely just fucking runs and stuff. So I thought, right, I'm gonna get 2 or 3 different types. I've ordered one set which hasn't arrived yet, and it's 3 individual little, almost like toothpastey tubes. From a bushcraft store of cam cream, like you get a brown, a black, and like a olive drab sort of colour, and you literally just got a little bit out and just. So I'm gonna see what that's like. See how long it lasts. Apparently it's got an insect repellent and a bit of UV protection in it as well, so that'd be quite cool. So yeah, I'm going to have 3 different types. So the
Almost
normal
sounds like
British Army
proper
one,
science.
the US, this one here, I'm going to try this one, and I'm going to try this other bushcrafty one. I think they're all about the same sort of price. This was about $7.99, $8.99. Same for the bushcraft one. And obviously the British Army ones, you can pick them up about the same sort of price.
You're going to half your face, like, and then do one,
I could do it
one,
into,
and
into,
one, and
thir-
then
into thirds.
yeah,
Brits,
and then
Yanks,
run around the woods.
bushcraft. But
Yeah.
then I've got hair in the middle more, so the bushcraft is going to be more. I don't know. I haven't planned it yet, but I want to see which one's the better of the 3, and then not buy any of them again.
Yeah. Or we can recommend them to everyone else.
Yeah.
Yes, you
It's
should
the
all get
best of the
this, but
3,
I will
but they're
not.
all rubbish.
Yeah. This is the best of a shit situation. And I got my cup lid being made. I found a little guy on it. It's not a little guy. He could be a little guy. I don't know. I found a guy's bushcraft shop on eBay. So I've ordered a metal lid for my Crusader cup, and he does different variants. He does the Mark 1 and the Mark 2. I've got the Mark 2 lid, Mark 2 cups. I've ordered the Mark 2 lid, obviously. And you can get it with like a strainer. A corner's got like a few little perforated holes in it for straining and stuff off or whatever you're cooking in it. But I just got one that's just a solid metal lid because my plastic BCB one just started to catch on the edge a little bit. So I thought we'll get a metal one.
Yeah.
Happy days, pet. So that's the plan with that. I did send Mike a picture, but he's just giggling like a child.
Rage says, are you planning on doing blackface, Lance? I warn you now, it's generally frowned upon now, and rightly so.
It is, Rage, absolutely right. For that very reason, I won't be doing that. But thank you for the reminder.
It'll be a mouldy green.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt someone will get the ump about that.
Yeah, dead person.
Anthony's
Sorry
Airsoft,
for offending dead people.
Half rotten.
Anthony's Airsoft said I had to use Sutter Frontline Events Weekender as I didn't have any cam cream. So that's
Shit
fairly,
works well.
It works, doesn't it?
it's hardcore.
When I was smoking, I used to collect a whole
Put cigarettes out of my face.
Yeah,
Just to come on.
just flick the ash. No, just flick the ash into my hand, not full blown burn myself.
Just intimidation tactics for the enemy. Just sit there with your arm out.
What's that guy doing? He's obviously applying some sort of cam cream. Evening, Terry. How you doing, man?
That's just burnt Andy. He's just applying his cam cream.
Oh dear.
Any other news?
Yeah, I bought a mystery jacket which no one can identify. Thanks for everyone on the chat that did try. Still a mystery, but it's an amazing jacket. The bloke is going to see how many he's got in stock, but as he said,
Where did he get them from? Or can you not answer that question?
he just says he got them from
A guy.
a supplier. He goes, I got it from a supplier that he buys all his military.
But he doesn't
gear
know who
off.
the supplier is because they haven't
The
got a
only
label
thing I
either.
can think of as to why it's not got a label in there is because it had the insignia or whoever owned the jacket previously, which probably shouldn't have had that. Can't really sort
Yeah,
of put them
might
sort of
have,
details out there. I know a lot of it
He's-
gets blacked out and stuff, but
Yeah.
if maybe they've just gone right. Well, that's getting sold.
He said
Cut
none
the
of the
label out.
jackets. He said none of the jackets have got any labels on. But I have it hanging here. Look, can't see it because it's camouflage.
It's yes,
That's a
say.
wicked way to sell Viper kit, isn't it?
Yeah. To be fair, even if it's Viper, I don't give a shit. It is.
It doesn't look it though. It doesn't look it.
It is proper.
I don't
and I've
know.
worn it in the rain.
Oh yeah.
Flop me. Yeah, it's good though.
We shall see. Put it to the test, mate. Go for a car wash with it on.
I'll go for a car wash with it on. Science.
In my car. With the windows up.
Yeah. I'll just open the sunroof. So
Can
it
you
fills
upload
up.
that? Can you show that my picture of my cup off, my lid off, please, Mike? I sent you.
Your cup
I
off?
will.
Oh,
Give me 2 seconds.
nothing.
I will find it.
he's
Obviously,
meant to
the
be-
one pictured has got like perforated holes on either side, but I've just gone for the solid lid. So it's the same as the Mark 1, but it's the Mark 2 lid for my cup. I like it. I think that's going to be quite cool. Because the BCB one's got a little opening, so steam does escape, so it will let heat out more quickly than what this one sort
Hang
of
on,
should.
get in there.
So that's my I'm trying to think how much it was now. I can have a look quickly. It was, I think it's about a tenner, something like that. EBay. And if anyone's interested, That's the kitty there. So I'm getting the right hand one, but without the perforations in the ting.
Oh.
Trying to think what mate he's called now. Handmade metal, Crusader cup lid, bushcraft, Woodlorian. If you look up Woodlorian, Woodlorien.
Is someone having a piss?
Not that I'm aware of.
I can hear running
Not
water
me.
in the background.
Oh, it might be the bath. It's kids' bath time downstairs. It might be that.
Ah, I thought you had a catheter in, Lance.
No. Well, if I had a catheter, in, you wouldn't hear it, would you? Unless it's fallen out.
Yeah, this is
But yeah, there it is. That's it. That's it. In all its glory, that's my news thus far.
What is the what's the little D ring on the top for?
I think so you can lift it up with your fingers.
Ah, okay.
Thought it'd be
Fair
pretty
enough.
self-explanatory, I thought.
No, I wasn't sure if it was like a strap for strapping the lid down onto the cup.
Yeah,
I could be that.
Oh dear.
And this is where Mike
Right.
retires. He's like,
Should we end
screw
the
this,
news?
I'm going home.
We'll end the
The
news.
end of news.
That's it.
Have you sorted out the
End
end
of
of
the
news?
No, we haven't sorted out the end of the news. I have now got a submarine noise.
Well, I think that'll
Um,
do. That's end of news.
There you go. That's
Yeah,
the
I
end of
like
the
that.
news.
That's the end of the news. Oh,
Right,
news.
question
You should
one.
have shown us your pictures of your
Oh yeah, let's talk about that,
field.
Lance. Talk about your thing.
Now you've got it in the background.
You're on mute.
You're on mute, you idiot.
Sorry, I was giggling. I was laughing about the what's that on top of the lid? Oh, that's the handle thing. Still. So yeah, I've done some more mods on my bivvy bag. So I've actually added purpose-built, stitched-in pegging out loops or guying out loops and the basher pole loops to the front and back now. So it's actually, if I set my screen, unless Mike's got a picture of it in the WhatsApp, if I do that quickly and move out of the way, you
I
can sort of
get
see
the
it now.
WhatsApp
It's
one up.
proper rigid in the
It
background there.
looks well strong, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's good. The only thing I might have to do in really strong winds is put a secondary guy line going directly out to each side from the basher poles rather than going off at an angle. But yeah, there we go. So that's pretty awesome. So that's all done now. I've stitched it in. All I've got to do is seam seal where I've stitched. So I've just got to do a load of seam sealant on that bit there, and on the other 3 points as well.
So is that you in it, that last photo? Is that...
No.
That's it empty.
That's it. Yeah. So basically, where them basher poles are, my head is in that bit there. Is inside. Is inside the bivvy bag still. So all that bit on the floor is just excess, like head covering, which
Right.
which used to have like a draw cord in it that would cinch up tight, but my draw cord never worked. Whether it's all knotted up inside it or something or broken, it just never cinched up. So I've just cut the cord out. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put along that top the cross section or the horizontal piece that's material that's between the two basher poles. I'm going to put a strip of Velcro. And I'm going to have a panel which can Velcro underneath that and then peg out at an angle, so it's like a storm shield.
Oh, lovely. Yeah.
So that'll then sort of like cover up that entrance bit then. If I do get rain coming in or something, it'll just,
Oh,
bit
so
more
totally
protection.
self-contained then. So we won't even need... Technically, you wouldn't even need a...
bivvy, a basher, sorry. No, you wouldn't need a tent or a basher because your Bergen can go in front of your head there, and then the overflap that I'll add to it will cover the Bergen and your belt kit as well. Your belt kit will be
Keep it called the Storm Shield. I like that.
storm shield.
Yeah, the storm shield.
So that's so I've got that last little piece to do, and then that's essentially it. Pretty much done. Then it'd just be a case of waiting for it to piss with rain so I can go out and test it properly.
So tomorrow.
Well, yeah, tomorrow,
Yeah.
potentially if it is going to lash with rain. But I want to get it I do want to get it out and give it another treatment because I haven't fab sealed it for. Did I fab seal it last year? I think I did. So I need to do it once a year. So I do need
So
to do
what's
that
the
again.
lump in the middle of that photo? Is that
That
just you
literally,
popping
mate.
a
So
bag in?
if you look at the top left corner, that's basically where the seam of the bag's stitched. So the seam goes across, and then it diverts down to this bottom
Oh,
right hand
I
corner.
see.
So it goes
Yeah.
from top left corner to bottom right. So that's just the way it was
just-
when I put it
just
up.
the way
It
it
just
sits.
happened to sit
Yeah.
like that. Yeah. So which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
And it's got great runoff for any rain droplets. So nothing can really gather. You can't really get any water pooling on it because it literally just does completely run off the sides. And once it's sealed again as well, it'll be even better. So yeah, I'm quite excited to give it a go.
Yeah, what are you going to use to seal it? Are you going to...
Oh, just fab seal.
Just your
I'll
normal,
fab seal it,
fab
mate.
seal?
Yeah. I'll just fab seal. That's what I've used. I've used it loads of times on other stuff. and it's been absolutely golden. I really highly recommend this, and what I've done as well, that seam grip stuff which I bought for doing the zip bit on there. I've actually done the seams on my Altberg Defenders as well, which has been an absolute godsend because I gave them a good treatment day before yesterday. I think I'll put some pictures up. I did like 4 coats of polish and 2 coats of dubbing, and I even dub in the laces as well. Mainly the bit that goes through the eyelets of the boot. Didn't do the top bits because they can be a bit of a ball ache to do up and that, but just to stop that rot, and it's sort of submerged in water all the time. So yeah, I'll give them a good soaking dubbing over 24 hours or so, the laces. And I've sealant gripped all the or seam gripped all the stitching in that on the boot, just keep them tickety boo. I mean, they're still 100% watertight. I mean, they're probably a few years old now, but I'll look after them. So they're good boots. But I am digressing. Yeah, that shelter, I'm looking forward to actually proper trying that. That's good. And I literally put it up in like under a minute, less than a minute. It's easier to put up than a basher.
That's perfect, that isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know the weight of it in total yet, or?
Well, it's to say it is a bivvy bag. The only added weight to it is those 4 little D-ring clip bits that I've stitched onto
so
it.
nothing then.
There's barely anything to warrant it. The only thing, the added
if
weight's
anything,
gonna be,
ultimately, the whole system's going to be lighter because you would normally have your basher with that. If you're effectively taking the basher out of that equation, it's going to be a lighter system, hands down, isn't it?
Yeah, the big thing, you've got the basher, you've got all the paracord and all the corners of the basher as well, which is a little bit more weight. Not a great deal, but it's weight nonetheless. And all them sorts of bits and bobs. But yeah, no, it's just another option, really. I might not necessarily use it very much as that sort of shelter, but at least I know I can if I need to. It's achievable. Do you know what I mean? There's no reason, even for light backpacking trips and stuff like that. It cinches down so small. I mean, here it is. I've actually got it on the floor here next to me. So that's essentially just the basher there. The bivvy bag, sorry. I mean, it's not been done up very well, but that'll go into any little day sack or anything like that and still leave you ample amounts of room.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's almost comparable to the Ratnik bivvy bag that we were also talking about episode ago or whatever. So maybe we'll have to get out of the woods at some point and we'll have a little comparison between the two.
Defo, mate. 100%, yeah. And the zip as well still works, because I was worried that once I put the basher poles up and fixed it all in place, once you undone the zip, I thought the whole structure would go all sort of loosey-goosey, because you're essentially putting a huge tear down one primary side of the shelter, but it didn't. It just stayed true. It's absolutely fine. I think it's the way the seams run. Undoing that zip doesn't compromise anything, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I was happy with that. That's all good. All good.
Nice.
Yeah, nice.
We've got some questions that have come in.
We
do have some questions on our previous chat board as well that we sort of pull together after every episode. So if we don't cover all the questions today, we will be covering them in the future. So we'll sort of dip in and out. But we'll answer the ones that people have asked now. So Nick says, "Are you on Instagram?" So we are. We are at NoFo chat at Hotmail. No, that's our email. We are November_Foxtrot_NoFo. That's our Instagram. So if you are interested in that. We also have our own Instagrams as well, so if anyone's interested, they are there.
That
Those
one.
are our names.
Other way.
There. Other way, Lance.
I'm pointing at my.
Putting in my mic.
My name's there.
No, it's not. It's there.
It's not.
My name is there on my screen. My name is there.
Oh, you put it.
I promise you.
I promise you.
On this screen, it's the other
I'm
side.
pointing at my name. So what is everybody else? It's over there.
Hang on.
It's over there.
Point at your name where you see it.
There.
Right.
Rage
Just
has
so you're
asked a
aware.
classic Rage question: would you rather have dicks for fingers or a finger for a dick?
Would you rather have dicks for fingers?
I'm gonna go finger for a dick.
Yeah, but then you wouldn't be able to wee.
And then add your pee.
No, but imagine how you would please someone else. Think of the dexterity.
I've got that anyway. I'm like
What, finger
Mr.
dick?
Gadget. Yeah, I'm like Mr. Gadget.
That's weird.
On to the next one.
Next question.
Marky Mark. Is it just a standard brown, greenish, blackish when it comes to can cream?
Well, that followed badly on from that last question, didn't it?
No, to be fair. Yeah. To be fair, this
What
one's
does
actually
your
got like
finger
a
do?
really pastely sort of white in it as well, which is on the end there. So it's got like I'm not going to say lime green, but it's got a very light green. It's got like a sandy green, like the normal olive green dark colour, and then it's got a white in there as well. So I'll have to have a look up. See, maybe that's like a jungle cam cream. I'm just wondering, obviously with the white in it as well. But like I said, it's a US one, so I'm not sure what their sort of take on it would be. Now, let me have a quick look on my purchases here quickly for what I got. Oh, here we go. Yeah, Cam Creams face paint, USA Jungle, brand new surplus mirror, 4 colours, US, blah blah blah, US Woodland camo. But it's a jungle. It's their jungle one, so maybe they do like a woodland one as well. But good use. But normally they're just black, green, and brown, aren't they?
Yeah. My thoughts on Cam Cream has been that always get one with a mirror, because it just makes it so much easier when you're trying to apply it on your own. And the only one that I found to be half decent is BCB. If you get like a proper brand new BCB Cam Cream. Some of the older ones, as you say, they sort of go waxy or they dry out, or we've had one that was just like a proper clay. Some of them they're sort of like a cheap replacement filler almost.
Yeah, is there a way of bringing?
It's so wet. It's just
like the Cam Creams. You know the ones when they go rock hard. It's like an old pastel paint tray that's just been the lid's been left off and they've just it's just solidified in a little compartment.
Yeah.
Is there a way of bringing that back from the dead, sort of thing? Like
I got told olive oil, but I'm not sure how true
putting
that
olive
is.
oil on or something.
I've never tried it. I'm sure there are people who've all been told something. I always got told olive oil. Don't know how true that is because I never.
Because I've got a few old tubs of issued stuff, but it's gone so hard. It's all still perfectly serviceable, but it's gone rock hard, and well, it's not serviceable because I can't use it. But it's not been touched, it's not been used.
Because I've got a whole load of dead stuff as well, so maybe we'll just try a whole load of different.
Some way of bringing it back from the brink.
I've thrown all mine in the bin. I can't use that. Throw it in the bin.
Yeah.
I'm not a hoarder.
Turns out tequila is the only way to get face paint, camo face paint to loosen up again.
Love it.
Couple follow-up questions. Silly Gilly has said, what about Face Pro, Lance? What about just wearing Face Pro? You can get camo Face Pro too.
Yeah, but Ed knows this. Face Pro ruins headshots. Doesn't it, Ed?
Yeah, no, but he likes
it's a little joke there with Ed. He'll know. Don't wear Face Pro because it spoils Ed's YouTube videos of him shooting you in the face, alright? That's what we're trying to say. I don't wear Face Pro.
Ryan says, just ask and I'll get you a whole load of the issued shit. Hit us up, Ryan.
Stepka.
Love it.
My guy.
Ryan's going to get like 1,000 messages now. Ryan,
Ryan's going to be in the guard room tomorrow. I didn't mean it, I swear.
Harry Badger says, is there a Lance Twitter account?
No, Harry. There bloody isn't. Harry, I've still got your bag here, mate.
I've still got a prize for Harry as well that I haven't gotten over to him yet.
Harry's bag is still here. Love you, mate. I will send it to you, I promise. Bloody bag. I always forget about
Mark Barnes said, did you check on the posting rules so we can see your toy pews? I did review YouTube's conditions on riffs and weapons, and as far as I'm aware, it still stands that they don't like weapons being handled on live streams. I don't know how other shops and other YouTube channels and the like do it. We fundamentally, because most of our audience is either on Facebook or YouTube. Right now, we've got 5 on Facebook and 20 on YouTube. We don't want to run the risk, basically, of ruining that. If we lose our live streaming access, that could obviously be a massive problem for us. So,
yeah,
there's my one.
Alternative ways of doing it. We can
there's
do.
Well,
that's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, I've got to do it that way. Have I got to point that way and move that way?
No, you'll find that one.
No, you're fine on that one.
We can do some pre-recorded videos. We can put pictures up, but any actual physical handling apparently is an issue. So yeah, don't know why.
What about footing? I can hold it. With
I think it was.
We had a video taken down because of it had Lance's feet in it anyway. So
yeah,
and they were lovely
feet.
Harry Badger's currently setting up a Lance Twitter account. Just so you're aware. Link that to the LanceLance.com.
Oh, They aren't weapons, they're wibbles. They are wibbles. Yeah.
Anthony's Airsoft says, any recommendations for a high street shop that can repair a Bergen? I've got a DPM Bergen for a tenner, but a couple of buckles are snagged.
Ooh.
No.
Well, I mean, you can certainly try any high street tailor, whether they do it. I mean, I know it all depends on whether their machines are strong enough to sort of like go through the webbing and that.
Yeah. To be
There's
fair,
more
I'd
needle.
use one of the coalition lot.
Yeah,
you know,
Mission
on
Tailors
Instagram.
would be my first port of call.
Mission
So I
Tailors.
haven't used the other guys, but Mission Tailors would certainly be able to do that if
Yeah.
he's got the time. I know he's mega busy. Or Ryan, like Ryan said, JJ's or Dragon Supplies, mate, will do it. If it's a JJ's Bergen, it shouldn't have broken to start with, but if it was, I'm sure they do repairs for free on them. If it's JJ's kit.
Yeah, I think
It's got a
Dragon do
lifetime
that as
warranty
well.
with it. So yeah, but yeah, get in touch with them, bud. But I'm not sure about high street ones. You could try a tailor,
No, high
Street
street,
tailors,
yeah.
or something. They might be able to do so. If it's just a buckle that needs restitching, or
I mean, another option is it something that you could do yourself potentially. You could. I don't know exactly. I'm assuming that it's not on the basis that you're asking a question.
it's just having the strength of the needles to go through the material. Because I hand stitched them webbing straps onto that bivvy bag, but I'd use a thimble and everything, and I was literally pushing the needle through. I was like, "Oh, this is going to go straight through my fucking finger in a minute. I can feel it."
You know, a thimble, whatever it is.
A fumble.
Fumble. I was going to put it on my thumb.
Well, I did have a little fumble, Mike. Then I got on with the sewing afterwards. Having a fumble's got nothing to do with it, mate.
Mate.
I think we're going to have to rack this episode up as not being one of my
this
finest,
is,
but we'll carry on.
This episode is not applicable to anything, to any learnings. There's no learnings here.
I meant a thimble on your thumb, just like to push it in.
No, I use the old index, mate. The old trusty, the old main mixing finger. Straight in. But yeah, it's right. I got the job done. Not too bad.
Nick suggests that you could try a shoe cobbler to fit new buckles sewn on.
Oh, that's a good shout. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
All right, Nick, coming out with the good ideas. Let's do that. Thank
yeah.
you.
Throwing them out there.
Yeah.
This is like-
What about?
Nick actually followed up with another question. Do you replace your boot insoles with aftermarket ones?
Yes, I do. I put memory foam ones in because they're like little clouds
For your dainty little feet.
for my dainty little feet. No, they are good. No, generally I take the insoles out and put memory foam in. The gels I've never really trusted. I don't know why. I just feel like stepping on a bag full of gel.
I have some
not a
experience
good-
with gels. I bought the Shoal, or Shoal, whatever.
Shawl. Just mind it, Benny.
Shoal. The you know the.
I bought
the
some
gel,
lovely
the
insoles for
cushion.
my new shoes.
Yeah.
Yes. Made by Shawl.
I bought the gel ones of those, and I wore them for one event, and they immediately came out and went in the bin. They were not very comfy. I found that I was sliding around in the boot. I don't know what it was, but I don't think the fabric was clearly gripping the socks, whereas the boot fabric did. So the insole of the two was very different in terms of grippiness. And the other thing I found is because you are having to trim the insole yourself. So I the way that I did it was I took the old insole out, lined it up, and then trim around that. So it was, in my mind, the best fit I could achieve. I was still finding there was gaps, so it was almost like I was coming off the edge of the insole inside my boot.
Cut the new one a little bit bigger, maybe.
That possibly would have been an option, but after you've cut it smaller, it's a case of buying some new ones. So rather than do that, I just threw them away and we went back to using the stock ones.
So that was
Silly.
cutting. That was cutting person error then. That was.
No,
So it's your
hands
fault.
down.
So
Yes, yes, it was.
yeah.
Yes, it was my fault. So as a tip, if you're going to take this away from this this
Don't let
conversation,
Mike do it.
cut them slightly. Well, yeah, don't let me do it. Cut them slightly bigger first, and then trim them down. Don't think that you're being clever by getting the exact size straight. Bang on. Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Measure twice,
Kenny
cut
says some
once.
hiking insoles can be awesome.
Yeah,
Defo.
the memory foam ones I get from who is it? Great
Is it
Outdoors.
Shul?
Is it Great Outdoors? Can't
Shaw.
remember the name of the shop. Outdoors, Great Outdoors. That shop.
I've never changed the insoles in my boots. They've always been really. I've always found them really comfortable. I just
Got
Trouble.
that little bit of
Yeah,
luxury.
So fuck both of you
Well, no,
and your
'cause
nonsense
I'm
and your nonsense
now
insole
with
trimming.
you. I just wasted money to get there. Yeah,
Go outdoors.
Go outdoors. Everyone's shouting, "Go outdoors!" At you.
Go outdoors.
No, it's not go outdoors because
The great
no,
outdoors.
it's not because go outdoors is. I think it might be a little independent one round here, but I'll throw the link up for everyone.
Go
If
outside.
Just go
Later
indoors.
Go
Go outside.
Yeah.
Oh, the dad jokes are the best. Where you go outside. Fucking...
Yeah, I mean the other thing I would suggest, if you are wearing insoles as well, bear in mind how many socks that you currently wear and the size of the boot. You
Yes.
can very easily start crushing your feet because you're taking quite a lot of room out of the inside
Oh, yeah.
of the boot.
And make them cold.
Yeah.
I found that out at Hot Mac. I had 3 pairs of socks on. Actually, it was actually a detrimental effect to my feeties, which was shit.
Well, it clamps around your ankle as well, doesn't it? So you're
Yeah,
effectively
well, it's just
trying to
everything because I could literally, my toes were in the boot as they should be, but there was just no movement there. I couldn't move.
Yeah.
I couldn't flex them to get the blood
Yeah,
circulating.
you
stuff
didn't
like
have that
So it
air
was actually,
gap either.
No,
You didn't have that air gap to warm up.
So, I hate myself for doing that. God damn it!
Should only ever be two pairs of socks only.
socks,
Two
motherfucker.
pairs only.
Ryan says you should only ever wear one pair of socks.
Fuck you, Ryan. What do you know?
No, you're wrong.
I know my feet, mate. My feet need 2 pairs of socks.
I've worn 2 pairs of socks.
Maybe in the
since I was about
jungle.
Yeah.
6 when
No, to be
since
fair,
I
Ryan
could
knows
dress
his onions.
myself.
Since I've been
Yeah.
able to dress myself.
Since I've been able to
I always
dress
put 2
myself.
pairs of socks on in case I forget tomorrow. Then I've already got them on.
Yeah. Exactly. Turn them inside out. Boxes I can get at least 4 days out of.
Absolutely. And then once, leave them off for a day, then you just rub them against the brick wall, and then you put them back on again.
Yep.
Just to free them up, the stiffness.
Shake off all the brick dust.
So, shake off all the clinkers and put them back on.
Snap, crackle, and pop.
It's like popping out ice cubes out of a tray.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear Ryan's reasoning.
Yes, Ryan.
If
That's
you
a
can
bold
give us a
little-
little- That is a very
New
bold
walking
statement
socks are
there.
dual layered, so it's effectively 2 pairs in one. Oh, fucking hell. Fair play.
I'd still put another pair of socks on.
I don't trust them.
Because what I do is I have a real thin pair of like thermal lining socks, like the thin pair, and then I just put a thick pair of non-insulated socks over the top. So it gives you a bit of an air gap in between your 2 layers of socks, and I've never had cold feet.
I remember Rage saying about the 2 pairs of socks as well, because it's always, especially like with new boots and things, because it prevents your feet rubbing against the actual boot, so it's actually the sock rubbing against the boot rather than your foot. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was some logic behind that to prevent the
We've
blister
got into
prevention and
sock
stuff.
rubbing going on as opposed to sock on boot.
Yes, say that again.
Sock,
Yeah.
gotta love a bit
Absolutely,
of
say that
Into
again.
sock
Gotta
rubbing.
do it like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love. Write that down. Into sock rubbing.
We
Here we go.
Ryan
So 2 pairs
says,
of
so 2 pairs of socks will rub together and are more likely to give you blisters and restricts the airflow, so they can actually make you colder.
A counter argument from Ryan on the 2 pairs of socks.
I've
See,
never had
I
a blister
wear-
in my life.
I've never had a blister in my life. I reckon Ryan's wearing the wrong socks.
He's not wearing any because he's hardcore. He's running around in
Because
those
he's
in his
absolute
boots and just
fucking
be like,
nails.
"Fuck you,
Don't even wear
socks."
boots,
The
mate.
only
Don't even
time
wear boots.
the only
Boots.
time I ever wear 2 pairs of socks, or 2 socks, is a pair of socks and then Gore-Tex socks.
Gotta love a set of
Gore-Tex
Gore-Tex
socks. Gore-Tex socks. Like the old sealskins or something.
I generally tend to wear like a thin sock as a sacrificial layer, and I'll explain that in a second, and then a hiking sock over the top. Now, the sacrificial layer is because if I'm going to be hiking around for maybe sort of 2 days, I'll put magnesium oxide tape or zinc oxide tape.
And how likely is that to
sort of-
happen? I don't think I've ever hiked for 2 days.
Oh, I've done that. No, I've done that. We've done various sort of backpacking trips and stuff like that, but I've put the zinc
Sounds
oxide tape
awful.
on there. No, it's good. Put the zinc oxide tape on there in kind of the areas that I know I'm going to probably blister more from experience. But I've found that the zinc oxide tape properly almost glues to that outside layer of sock. So you need that sort of sacrificial layer in there because it completely fucks them up. They stay sticky for the rest of their life. So if you want to avoid a sticky outer sock, which is your kind of hiking one, sorry, stop laughing. If you want to avoid your sticky hiking sock,
I'm
which
not,
are
I'm
usually
processing.
more expensive ones, The
I just
the
feel
inner
sticky
one, you can get rid-
sock conversations is a downhill.
Yeah.
Especially when you
downhill.
got
Looks like
it-
Chewbacca says, "Just wear sandals." Job done.
Wear sandals. Into sock rubbing. Oh, what was it? What was the
Yeah,
phrase?
into sock.
Into sock rubbing.
Into sock rubbing. I want that. Ryan, you need to shoehorn that into a lesson. Into one of your next lessons you've got to give, mate. As now you're a junior NCO, you've got. I want some into sock rubbing mentioned. Oh yes.
Rage says a thin pair of socks can protect your feet from blisters, but does need to be a thin sock underneath a thicker sock.
Yes. Absolutely. I like nylons.
Harry
myself.
disagrees with Ryan. Harry says proper hiking socks will always save on blisters. Sock on sock, not sock on flesh.
Oh God, this is becoming incredibly sexy.
I feel like we might have to flip this over to the only.
We might have to put a rating on this episode. Gee, with YouTube's going bonkers right now.
Yeah,
The algorithm's going. Oh, is it bad? Is it bad?
Yeah.
Is it
Screw
okay?
it. I'm gonna go and get my pistol and just point it at my head.
I'll just put 2 pairs of socks over it first. It'll be fine.
Right, I'm getting a bit hot under the collar, so let's move on to a different question.
Oh, gee.
I think we've started something here. I think this is gonna have to be a whole episode. Socks.
In the words of Harry
Just
Hill,
socks.
fight. Well, I like 1 pair of socks. I quite like 2 pairs of socks as well. There's some science there to be had.
Will
Go on, Will.
says, when is the NoFo/Legion 3-day event happening?
When is the
Well,
NoFo/Legion?
Legion.
What is
I think
this
we were talking
devilry?
about doing a 3-day event with Legion back when we had Mike on.
Ooh,
Oh,
we'll have to
yes.
chase the big man.
Yeah.
Mike's currently gone bye-byes, so
Yeah.
when we speak to him, we'll find out.
There is
NoFo/Legion
there is
3-day.
there's things in the pipeline for a NoFo event.
There
Well,
it
no, I
is.
say pipeline. We thought about it.
Andy's about to give it away! Andy's about to give it away!
Oh! Oh!
Should we give
Into
people a
s-
little teaser?
You can
Get
give
people
people a little
excited.
teaser, go on.
On your head be it.
Yeah,
So
'cause
we are thinking-
now you need to make it
Yeah.
happen.
I can make it happen. We are thinking of doing a either 1 or 2 day event for everyone, with shootings and hidings and trainings. Cammings. Lance
What's
will put his
cammings?
Lance will put his cream on your face.
Oh yeah.
Face.
I'll be doing face. I'll be doing a
Face
face
art.
painting stall.
But we are looking at doing an event.
You'll all
This
look the
year.
fucking same, so don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Tigers.
Yeah. I'll literally have like cards with like, what do you want? This one? Or would you like this? Would you like this one?
Flip through the book.
Flip through the book, choose a picture you like, and we'll make it happen. Lovely.
Yeah, and then even when you walk out, they'll all still be the same.
Everyone's just, oh, that's great. Thanks. Right.
Oh god, this is the most ridiculous episode ever.
Ice cream vans down there. We're gonna get yourself ice cream now. It was today. Camouflage.
No.
What are you supposed to be?
I'm a lion.
He said, I'm a butterfly, actually. I do Rage as a butterfly, pretty butterfly for Rage.
Camouflage butterfly.
With diamantes on him. Just on that bit there. A few diamantes. Lovely. Anyway, this is silly. Come on with the event. On with the event that we're having at the location and stuff.
Well, no, that was it. I've given them the information. There is something happening this year. There will be more information released later on. Tickle their little taste buds for it.
Ooh.
I was
There you
being
go.
PG on that one.
So is that what we're saying? There isn't an actual NoFo event happening this year.
There is a NoFo event happening this
Can
year.
we say it now? Can we say it now?
Yeah, there is.
Yay!
It's very exciting.
It is very exciting. So yeah, trainings and things like that going on,
Yeah.
and a culmination
Ninja
to a
moves.
bit of an event at the end of it. Bit of an
Yeah.
op at the
And
end.
food.
Yeah, there'll be more. There'll be a load of food. But yeah, there'll be
And a
training,
12-piece house band.
training, shooting.
Just playing our intro on repeat.
Yeah, constant.
When you're all
It'll
trying
be-
to sleep.
How to ignore interrogation tactics is going to be
That's
one of
it,
the
yeah.
training ones. Eyes peeled open with a no
Yeah.
symbol ran past.
Will said, only said 3 days, 24-hour recon for Lance last day pew-pewing.
Only said 3 days, 24-hour recon for last day pew-pewing. What does that mean? Only
He
said
looks
3
genuinely
day,
confused.
24-hour recon for Lance. Last day pew-pewing.
Anthony's Airsoft, while we're working out on that, says, can I be a tiger?
Of course you can, mate. Absolutely. As soon as you ask so nicely. What do you mean, Will? Is he on about Op Mac? When we did the
Possibly.
recce at that? Don't say recon either.
I knew what he meant.
Of course you did. Bloody septics. Like his truck though. Is that a pickup truck in his picture? It's quite cool.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? It's really small. That's the only thing about this. Some people
We're sort
have
of just
really
waiting for
cool
Will
images.
to reply. So.
Like people have
What,
really
chaps?
cool images,
Yeah.
but you can't see them.
I can see him.
Like,
Friday, Saturday.
Pony Tony wants to be
3-day
Spider-Man.
event, Friday, Saturday.
Ah,
Lance's bush
yes.
cutting,
Oh,
last
right,
day
yeah.
assault.
Yes. Mikey's freezing. He's back.
I'm here.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
We have been talking about so the event that we're talking about at the moment is not a milsim per se. It is more of
No, it won't be a
It's not a
milsim.
milsim.
social kind of training. Like it's almost like an introduction to milsim. That's kind of the premise behind it. It's the kind of our core ethos has always been we're trying to get more people into airsoft and milsim specifically. So that's kind of the core ethos for that event. We may be looking at an event which is more milsim based in the future, but that's very much in the pipeline. Whereas this one that we're talking about now is more at the end of the pipeline. Hopefully,
Yes.
there's a lot
Middle.
of pipelines involved.
That's not to say that there might not be a little gathering later on in the year, which is like an invitey type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which will only be like an invitey type thing, but we'll be in touch about that. Enough said.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
there you go.
Yeah.
Right.
There we go.
Okay.
Breaking news. We
There were
haven't
some
got
questions
breaking
come in.
news.
No, I'll come up with a breaking news. So there was a question that came in.
Whatever. I'll go with
Be
that.
aware of
Oh, I'll put that on the to-do list. So there was a question from Kenny. He asked, I have a question for you all. You've booked on a weekend game, but it's not technically a milsim, more those battle sims where you stop play and have a social aspect on the Friday and Saturday evenings. Do you run your milsim setup, or are you taking a proper tent because you can take a bit more luxury? So this is probably more like an Octo 8 event. Octo 8 events, for those that don't know, run for 8 hours during the day. They then stop in the evening for the benefit of having that social, the interaction.
Which is brilliant, by the
full
way.
night game,
Yeah.
and it is good fun.
It's cracking. I love
And
it.
then it starts again the next day when it's daytime. So it's kind of that. It's not your full on. You're gonna go out and camp in the woods. You're on guard duty overnight. You're having to prepare your base for defensive attacks overnight. This is more like a battle sim type. I don't know. It's hard to justify it because it's run in the day very much like a mil sim. You've got your characters, you've got your role play, you've got all that goodiness. It's just, and the evening is just not playing.
Yeah,
It's the
I mean, like
camping side.
Octo events are very much their own events. You can't compare it to say like a Legion event. You can't compare it to sort of like Sterling events or SEO events or things or the Defiant
they're
events.
well
It's a completely different setup
Yeah.
to what they do there, and you have to go there with the open mind that this is what it is. It's not going to be we're stopping at. Well, see, you knew they were stopping at 5 because that's the whole idea of the event. You stop at 5, you'll get around a campfire, you have a few beers, barbecue, whatever, bit of music till whenever. Get your heads down, then you start again the next day. That's the idea of the event. It's the action-packed bit during the day, and then you chill, have a laugh in the evening. Kit-wise for it, I mean, now that I've got the truck and that, I'll probably take that, but I'll still be just dossing out in my Dutch Army tent, or if it's red hot, I'll just have I'll have my cot underneath my my lean-to on my truck, and that'll be it. You know,
Yeah.
I won't certainly take massive tents and stuff like that. There's no need for it really, unless the weather's going to be absolute gash. Then I might take something a little bit bigger just for like getting changed in and stuff like that. But normally, the last Octo events I've been to have been weather's been quite forgiving. Actually, it's been all right. So
Yeah, I tend to take a little bit
You
more
can take whatever you like, really.
luxuries. Yeah, I'll take
Yeah,
more
I mean-
luxuries with it, but I still have my basic Bergen with all my stuff in it because
Yeah,
That's what I take
an
for-
uber comfy camp chair.
yeah.
Like the
And just-
poo chair
yeah.
gets sidelined for Octo events, and I take the bigger chair.
skillets, full bone gas fires. These two take.
That's it. Yeah, get the stakes on.
Yeah.
A
Yeah,
a
enjoy
fire
it, mate.
pit,
Enjoy it
like
for what it
a
is.
stand off the ground fire pit's quite good.
Yeah,
There's a variety
yeah.
of options out there, but some sites won't let you have a fire on the ground. So obviously having the ability to raise that up, you could then have a fire is quite nice in the evenings. For very social thing to do.
that's cool, mate. Yeah, I look forward to them. And it's always good because if a game kicks off at 9 in the morning and you're pretty much on the go from then till till 4:30, 5ish perhaps, and then when it's like that index sort of for that day, you do feel like, oh yeah, I was starting to flag a bit there because you are on the go, you're doing this, doing the other. Do you know what I mean? It's nice to get back there, get a bit of food down, have a few beers, have a laugh about the day's events and what's gone on, and almost like a little impromptu debrief around the campfire. And then have a good crack. Do you know what I mean? It's a good laugh. It's a really good event, really good weekend, and it's a great way of getting into like the longer events for yourself because you can bring some sort of just civvy kit, and you haven't got to worry about it too much as long as you like your normal loadouts all there for whatever role you're playing. Yeah, they're great events. The Octo events are brilliant. I don't think I've ever been to a bad one. They've been really good. I've done 5 or 6 of them, I think. So
Yeah, no, they are good.
All
They're
very
good.
good.
Well.
I mean, the other facet to this, of course, is that if you really, really want to test kit, it gives you the option. You can test it in a kind of scenario which is an event.
well, yeah,
But
absolutely.
you're not pressurized and you're not having to do that. So if stuff goes wrong, we've been at an event before where someone's tent filled with water. If that happens, then you've got that backup of going, right, I've got kit in the car. I can get out of this situation. Worst case, you can camp in the car.
Exactly. I was just about to say, worst case, you can keep in the motor, can't you, for the night? So, but yeah, it's a great place to test kit if you've got new kit to test out or a more extreme
definitely.
sort of minimalist sort of setup for your sleeping arrangements. Then yeah, by all means try it, but just make sure you've got your little pup tent or your little pop up or whatever it is that you can chuck up just in case it doesn't work out. Bring it as a little backup. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
at
because
all.
I tested.
It's the place to try it.
2 or 3 tents now at Octo events. Like literally, I think the last Octo that I did, I put up 1 tent in the for the first day. Like because I got there on the Friday, didn't we? And I put it up for the Friday night, and then took it down and changed it again for the Saturday, so I could test 2 tents.
Yeah, fair play.
Do you know what I mean? If you've got the time and because as you said, it finishes early enough. Why not test it? You know which one you're going to use.
Is this Diet Milsim? It's not Milsim. They don't claim it to be Milsim.
No.
That's why I always say events.
A couple of people suggested. So, i.e., what are you taking to the NAE, which is the National Airsoft Event?
We are turning up in the NoFo.
The Palace.
still have
I don't know
Have you
what
still
we're going to
got that?
call it. I've still got it, yeah.
Oh, nice. The NoFo marquee.
Yeah, I'm going to hold on to it for NAE, and then if anyone wants to buy it off me, they can.
Last year's NAE, Andy brought his tent. He said, "Don't worry about it. I've got enough space for you." Literally rocked up, and this tent was bigger than maybe three or four times the size of my car. Like this thing was absolutely fucking huge. Like it had a
Marvellous.
porch, a garage. Like there was,
It
was so much tent.
It did have a
I felt
garage.
dirty. I felt dirty getting into that tent.
And then
I
he
felt
goes-
a lot
he goes-
dirtier getting out of it.
Yeah. And then he goes, "I've got my gazebo," and I was like, "Yeah, you can throw it up if you want."
My gazebo being dwarfed by this mansion behind it. Like, it's ridiculous. But yeah. And Will said, AI event, bring your caravan.
Yeah. Bring a caravan with your own loo.
To AI?
No, not to AI.
No, bring your own loo to... I think we'll have to get our own
NA.
loo for an AE. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, no,
I'm
you,
gonna get
Cal.
my-
The
I'm going
ladies,
to get my own,
the ladies are hired one, so I'm just gonna ponce the combination off of them and just use that.
Screw that and buy my
Alex
own
said it was
one,
fine. I could do that. Sounds like all right, wicked.
as long as you don't leave the seat up.
Save myself a one. Happy days.
I'm going to pay £100 and have my own personal Bob toilet.
So, yeah, I mean, ultimately, if you have the opportunity, rolling back to the question, if you have the opportunity for a bit more comfort, you might as well take it because you are going to have more rest, more relaxation, and then you'll enjoy the actual grafty bit of the event the next day a bit more. Although that being said, you get some pretty comfortable sleeping setups. I mean, our hammock setups, some of the best night's sleeps I've had on Milsim sometimes in the hammock. It's hard getting out of a hammock, both
hammock's the best
emotionally and
sleeping.
physically.
Hammock is the best sleeping ever in the woods. You won't find a comfier pitch than keeping in a hammock for the night. NAE have sold out of loos already. Oh.
I shall be bringing my own.
Just a tube of deep heat, man. Just deep heat on the top lip. You're golden. Trust me, I've done a few.
No,
so
no.
You'd have to
couldn't
smell
get in it,
the
mate.
smell of a portaloo.
Sorry, in my mind, the
top
tube
of
of
the
deep heat
toilet
was
was
something
there.
that you could just crap anywhere at that point because you've got your deep heat on your
Just
lip.
make a little circle of deep heat and plop in the middle of it.
No, Lance. The seat was there, and the shit was here. Like people were literally
mate.
hovering.
These were full. I've never seen portaloos that full, and I've worked on construction sites. Like these were full.
You know, NAE
wasn't the
loos are
smell.
sold out. So they clearly haven't got extra toilets in this year, or has everyone bought a toilet because of what happened last year?
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, on the plus side, maybe that might make the other ones
Stop
better.
it,
Who
Rage.
knows?
Stop it.
So
I don't need a roof tent,
I
Rage.
shall
I'll
be
just sleep in
renting
yours
a
with you.
caravan. I'm going to rent a caravan and bring that along.
Rage keeps telling me to get a roof tent, but I'm just going to sleep in here so he doesn't know it yet.
I think you should. Get
Brian
a roof
says
tent.
clearly you've never been to an MOD site after squaddies.
Yeah.
To be fair, we did.
To be fair, those Longmoor toilets we were at, the ones in the fob there, were
Yeah,
pretty
they were
nice.
alright.
They put that new toilet block in, haven't they?
Oh, they have actually. They're the actual like proper shipping container type toilets, not the thunder boxes. Yeah.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
turdises.
the toilets at Download Festival was literally like metal grate flooring that you walked up, and then there was like a rectangle of about 40 urinals with like little pipes that just went into a huge metal coffin underneath it. Like the smell of like the ammonia, mate. That's what the deep heat was for. Just put deep heat across your top lip before you went in there. 'Cause you'll be standing there going like, I'm gonna pass out. This is disgusting. But yeah, all good. It was worth it to see Metallica. Yeah, boy.
It's been an interesting one of feet and shit. And,
What's the intersock
Oh, normal.
rubbing?
Intersock.
intersock
rubbing.
Intersock rubbing. I can't remember now.
Oh, someone needs to remind us in the chat. I can't forget that phrase. Intersock something or other. Ooh.
Les says, why don't we do a skirmish day at dog tag with the regulars instead of going to the other place?
Why don't we do a regular skirmish day at dog tag with the regulars? Who is the regulars? Well, I mean, the regulars of the show or regulars at dog tag? I don't know anyone at
It
dog
means
tag.
regulars of the show.
They could be regulars at dog. I have no idea. I wouldn't know. It could be
I think
either.
it means regulars of the show, mate.
Yeah, we could do that. That's an option, mate. Yeah, we'll put it in the options list. Absolutely.
Yeah, you can have a little.
Instead of going to the other side.
Right, we had some questions on Instagram that came in earlier in the week. I know that we put some answers on there already. Bear with me while I find them. I can't find them. Who was dealing with the Instagram?
Me. I haven't
How do I get
deleted
them?
any. What, the
How do I get them?
questions?
Yeah.
They should be on the thing. I transferred most of the questions over.
Oh, you put them on there. Okay, cool. It's a well-run,
We are
oiled,
well
oiled machine.
organised.
Yeah.
This one came from
I'm going to Mark
Marky.
Barnes' house for a dump because Mark lives 5 mins away from the NAE site, so a taxi service from the missus to go home for a sit down if necessary. Absolutely, Mark. Can I buy a voucher?
Yeah.
I want to put a voucher for Mark's house.
Mark. You can make a lot of money.
Be an awkward journey with his missus though that you'd never met before. She's literally picking you up to take you back to her house so you can have a shit.
Yeah.
Hello.
We all know why I'm here.
Yeah, let's not beat around the bush, love. We know what's about to
Passing
happen.
through.
Let's just get there and get back.
I've been on a diet of kebabs for the last 2 days.
Oh, God.
I've eaten quarter pounders and drank Guinness for 24 hours.
Yeah.
I just want to apologise now.
Marky Mark
Oh,
on
dear.
Insta. What's the best bit of kit you own?
The best bit of kit. You two guys.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm like your Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, baby.
I
Into
don't
sock
want to know what I
rubbing.
am.
Best bit of kit. Oh, Christ.
Are we talking actual airsoft kit? Or are we talking like?
Well, yeah,
survival
I'd guess so,
camping-
considering
camping
that's what
gear
the
or-
basis of the show is.
No, but I mean, are we talking my G&P Stoner? That's my favourite riff.
There you go.
There you go.
It
That's
is,
that
Pat.
question.
Oh.
I think mine.
Best bit of kit.
My night vision. I love it.
My beard.
My beard, my beard, my tactical beard.
My beard. I don't know what my best bit of kit is. I'll probably say my bolt that my wife bought me 5 years ago for Christmas. My Bolt M4, my LRP SOP mod. Yeah. I'll go with that.
I think weapon wise it'd be my GHK AK. But kit would have to be night vision.
My new bivvy bag.
Well, that's handmade. That's
Modded by
custom.
yours truly. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only one in the world that is.
It is the only one like that ever. Only one that's been made as shit as that is mine.
No, I don't. I'm not letting you say that. I think it looks
No.
good. I mean,
like it.
I've not seen it.
I'm
in person,
genuinely
so-
impressed because I'm normally
Yeah.
pretty crap at making things. Let's be honest, girls and boys. So I was genuinely when I stitched all those little bits on and set it up in the woods, and I was like, it's fucking standing up. It's like when you build a playing card tower, and it's like, I actually did it. So yeah, no, I was genuinely impressed with that.
That's nice.
Yeah, I'd say that. That's quite. I love a bivvy bag, man. Yeah, I love it. With a zipper that on there. So yeah, it's the little things, isn't it? Please, people.
Yeah. I think for me, if it was kit wise, it's probably my sleeping bag.
Ooh,
I
love
so
the sleeping bag.
my mountain
that your-
sleeping bag. Yeah.
Oh,
it
that
was
one.
Expensive.
Christ. Yeah.
It's expensive, but honestly, it's my go-to sleeping bag now. It packs down ridiculously small. I can use it as an all-season sleeping bag because ultimately, if I'm hot, I just stick my leg out of it. Like you don't obviously wrap. You almost use it as like a duvet cover at that point. But yeah, I have been particularly enjoying that. So it makes it sound like most of the events I just sleep. I just mean in terms of, you know, when you do need to get your head down, it warms you quickly. That's what I mean. It's not like I'm having to sort of struggle with a cold. Yeah.
There you go, sir. Who asked that question? That's a good question. I like that.
That was from Marky Mark on
Marty
Instagram.
Mark, good man.
We had an anonymous question on Instagram. I'm new to Milsin and I'm yet to attend my first event. That being said, at events, do you find people take the storyline seriously? And is that a requirement to fully immerse yourself in the event? Or is it a case of here is the plan or objectives for the weekend and you need to achieve these at some point? Are you able to go off piste and achieve tasks or set your own pace?
That depends on the event massively, I think. For example, the Octo events are very drama based. I would say personally,
Yeah,
Like, if you
storyline
get-
driven
if you-
sort of
yeah,
thing, aren't they?
very storyline driven. If you get hit, you're encouraged to roll around and scream. Whereas I would say like Legion was very these are your taskings. I never did an op for at Legion, but I would say that Legion are very these are your objectives, and I found that when you get hit, you call it as an airsofter, so you don't roll around screaming and things like that. Whereas I find that the Octo ones you throw yourself into it a little bit more. Just using those as examples.
Yeah, I mean, from a tasking sort of point of view, it's difficult. Yeah, I think on a lot of events you wouldn't be able to just go off and say, "Oh, you've been given this objective. Oh, you got to occupy this building for a set amount of time." I don't think you'd be able to just go off and do that at your own pace or whenever you wanted to do it, because obviously the organisers they put a lot of thought on that into how the story's going to unfold, how the event's going to play out. And sometimes, yeah, it has to be orchestrated because you do need to have this section at this location at this time because there's going to be an ambush or something's going to go down that they're going to need to witness and call in to then progress the storyline. Obviously, that team's not going to be aware that that's the case, but which makes it, which is why the organizer puts so much effort into it to make it that immersive for you. Although you are there and this has just happened, they're expecting you to get on the net and report this in because that then progresses the story. So I don't think any event really would say, right, here's 8 things you've got to achieve over the weekend, crack on, because I think that would literally just be chaos. I don't think you'd be able to achieve that. I don't think that would ever work.
Well, we've been to events that are like that where people have gone off-piste completely and it has been of detriment to the event and the tasking at the time.
And I know that's what Defiant are very much in the bag with, is that you have fun by all means, but not to the detriment of other people's enjoyment.
Yeah.
So if
definitely.
you decide, you've been given a tasking to do at this time, and you decide to go, well, no, fuck that, I'm going to go down there because there's loads more people I can go and shoot. Then I can probably safely say that you would be asked to go away. Maybe get a warning the first time, but then you've potentially cocked up that event for a lot of people, or that particularly that scenario. For an awful lot of people, not just yourself, just because you felt, oh, well, there's more people down there that I can shoot, me makes me happy, I want to do that. Never mind the other 40, 50 people that were relying on you to be doing this, so they made the event even better further down the line. That's what you got to remember. So when you do get asked to do things at events, it is for a reason. It's not because, oh, fuck it, we'll just send them down there. There is a valid reason for you being asked to do that. It might seem a bit, mundane, or you're on stag for that amount of time, for that hour or something, but remember, you're one person in that entire event that's on stag for an hour. It's unlikely you're going to be doing it again for a good while. But just remember it. Just take the rest when you can, and do what's asked of you at that time, rather than just fucking going off piste, because you will ruin it for other people by doing that. So yeah, end of.
I mean, that's not to say that you obviously can't go and ask for more tasking. So if you've got, I'm going to use Red Tide 1 with Defiant as a good example of that. If there was a period where you'd come back, you hadn't got any kind of formal taskings to go and do. If you had enough guys or gals where you wanted to go and do something, you didn't want to just be sitting around, you can always go out on patrol. You can always go and assist the stag. You can, rotate in with a couple other people to give them a hand with stuff. There are fundamentally always things that you can be doing, and it doesn't necessarily have to be fully regimented. So, for example, we've done a Legion event where we went out on a routine patrol. So our tasking was to go and patrol in a certain location. We've maybe deviated a little bit from that route, i.e., we've gone down a hill to maybe not skyline ourselves, or we've tried to take a path of least resistance or something like that, and we actually ended up coming across an objective which we weren't meant to find at that time. But that made the game more interesting because it meant that we had to then change up what we were doing and deal with that. Another event that happened at that Legion game was also we came across a bucket upturned by the side of the road. We knew there was a risk of IEDs at that event, so we had to then change up from what we were doing. We weren't able to complete the patrol because we needed to deal with that. We had to form a cordon. We had to call in the bomb squad to come in and check it out, and it was just an upturned bucket. One of the Op 4 had decided to play silly buggers, but we still had to deal with that scenario. So whilst it's regimented in so much as, for a task force event, you are having to follow, a time frame or certain objectives or the like, there's still scope to do your own thing within that. It's not literally you are rigorously following some sort of plan and brief and everything like that. There's a little bit of scope for manoeuvre. But yeah, Kevin says, Milson rule number 1, don't be a dick. I think that should be life rule number 1.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to hear. I mean, Op 4, I think Op 4 you get a little bit more freedom with events. In terms of, say you've got a period of time where you just need to be out and about because you're providing sort of additional people out on the streets if it's an urban situation, or it's giving task force a bit of hassle because you're searching for owls or whatever it is that you've decided you're going to go and do as a bit of a backstory.
Brilliant, isn't it? I
You
love
know,
the stories.
The number of events we've been to where you've stopped someone because they're walking along with a sniper rifle under the pretense that they're hunting. It's like, yeah, but you've got a Barrett 50 cal there. That's a little bit overkill for rabbits.
Come on.
I'm shooting sparrows.
So I think there's a little bit more flexibility in terms of the creativity with Op4. This upcoming Red Tide 3 event will be my first Op4 outing. So I'm hoping to kind of explore that a little bit more. But yeah, I do think that, I mean, ultimately as well, civilian roles. There's civilian roles that you can do. So if you want to be more creative, that's obviously something that you could do. I have been to some events. I mean, Lance, you remember the old school APOC events, which were literally go out. It was almost like just go out in the woods and just at random points you'll get a call in of, we've got this objective you've got to go and find. And sometimes the objectives weren't in any way anything to do with the event. It was almost like somebody had gone, oh fuck, what do we do now? Oh, there's a bomb you've got to go and defuse. Sorry,
Yeah,
okay,
exactly,
But with
yeah.
DEA, why are we doing that? Like,
Yeah.
It's completely random, but that'll happen. Hopefully, it doesn't.
Just enjoy it.
Thankfully, it doesn't
Just
happen
enjoy
anymore because the
Yes.
the events we attend seem to be very well organised. So, for the most part, no names mentioned. To find.
Just enjoy it.
All very good.
Just if it's your first one, you'll generally be watching other people, finding out how to do it. You'll be put in probably quite. If you let the organisers know, you'll probably be put in with quite an experienced section anyway. If you're going on your own, so the organisers will be there if you tell them, especially like obviously James and the Defiant lads. They'll, if you say to them, for example, look, this is my first one, they'll look after you. They'll put you with a decent section.
Exactly.
And I think all organisers would, if you just turn around and said, look, this is my first one, they'll look after you because they want you to enjoy it and they want you to come back. So, yeah, just try not to overthink it. Go there, enjoy it. Do as you're told to an extent. But, yeah, just have fun with it, basically.
I've actually got an Op4 role coming up. I think next month, I've been asked to attend an event. I'm not sure. I'm not saying too much at the moment because I'm not sure if it's public knowledge or anything, but yeah, it's exciting. I think it's mainly blank firers as well. As an Op4 role, it's but yeah, I'll get some clarification, and if I can share some more on it next week, I will. But that sounds quite exciting, I must admit.
Nice.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
I have to admit, when you passed that over, I was like, that does sound really cool. I'm really excited, but I can't go because I'm on holiday.
Shit.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, there's going to be a lot of pyrotechnics in that there. He said, if you can bring, I said, well, I've got some 12 gauge trip alarms. He's like, yeah, you can absolutely bring them. I was like, wicked.
Goodbye, ears.
Yeah, bye, ears, yeah. So, yeah, ear defenders are a must for this one.
Going into that question that came out just a little bit more detail. So it says, at events, do you find people take the storyline seriously? And is that a requirement? I think, in all honesty, with that aspect of the question, the more you put into your event in terms of following that storyline from the perspective of, you are there as, for all intents and purposes, you are there as a character. So if you're DEA, if you play a DEA agent, that's going to make your event a little bit better. And it's going to make other people's event a little bit better. Because, if you're playing a cartel role and you go up to someone and you've got, a bit of you give the DEA person like a bit of grief or something like that, or I mean, you think of the events we've played where we've actually we've been this was back in the old school before Russia did what Russia's doing now, but it was like a NATO versus Russia event where we actually had Russians on the enemy team. So you are fighting Russians speaking Russian, so you can't understand what they're saying, and that adds so much immersion to that event.
Yeah, it would do, yeah.
I mean, I'm not suggesting you need to go and learn Russian or some other language.
I mean, I think you've got to take the scenarios very seriously in that, and the story's got to be taken seriously. Whether you throw yourself into the character, it helps. I don't think you have to do it. Don't feel pressured to do that. But it does help, and you'll always get characters there that really go balls to the wall with it, and it's brilliant. Do you know what I mean? And it harks back to the effort people go to with their loadouts and the extra little bits and bobs, like the bread sellers we had at Red Tide 2 and things like that. People went out of their way. I've been to events where a guy's turned up with a full fruit and vegetable stall. like punnets of grapes,
Yeah.
melons, apples, all set up like a proper in a market town sort of thing that we had to patrol through. He's there, and then we got what were they? Bloody digital electronic rocket igniting
The mines, the IEDs,
mines inside pineapples and oranges. And literally, you touched one, it just went boom, and you just come. It was damn. You come out this building just covered in bits of orange, just dripping off of him, when his fruit had just exploded. He's like, "Can they put a fucking IED in the oranges?" It's like, you shouldn't say that because you're actually dead now. But yeah, it's good. Yeah, like things like that. It makes an event. You know, them little extra touches that people go to. It's quality. I love it. Love stuff.
But
Like
yeah,
that.
then it harks back down to what Mike said at the beginning: is what you put into an event is what you get out of it.
100%, mate. Yeah.
If you're going to sit there and mope around and just sleep all the time and not do any taskings or anything at all, then yeah, you're probably not going to enjoy it. If you jump in with both feet, get involved with it, everything that you can, and play along with it a little bit, then yeah, you're gonna enjoy it, aren't you? At the end of the day,
Defo.
I'll tell you the one thing I always find amusing is people obviously don't always want to do accents or anything like that with their characters. So, for example, if you've ever done sort of an Afghanistan based or themed milsim event where you might be fighting sort of a Taliban-esque type force, sometimes less is more. You know, a lot of the sort of local population didn't speak English. So don't feel that you have to converse with the enemy forces. You know, sometimes not saying anything is just as sort of character driven as going fully into it. Yeah, it just I think ultimately the storyline, as you say, the storyline's important. But the more that you give an event, that I generally think if it's a good event, the more you will get out of it. There are some events where, you know, you could put 150% into that, and you know, it's if it's a badly run event, it's going to be a badly run event. You can't get around that. But they are fortunately few and far between. But they are out there. I'm not going to name names, but they're definitely out there.
Creeping about, they are out there.
We've got time for one last question. We'll probably do. If anyone else has any other questions, please throw them in the chat. We obviously stockpile them as well for the next one. We do.
We put them on our list
tonight. We'll get through them. Don't worry.
Yeah. Rage asks, blank firers, should they be allowed or only used by people who understand the safety aspect of using a blank firer?
Well, only.
I think they should be allowed, but they need to be used by people. Literally, both of your questions there, Rage, mate, into one.
Yes.
Definitely.
How an organizer would go about making sure that someone is proficient in the safety elements of a blank fire or not, I don't know. Whether they'll have to do show some sort of weapon drills and go through the basics of, like, you know, the what can still come out of it, whether it's bits of carbon or something can still come out at the end of it, can't it? Or
it still burn you. It will still blow.
You know, I remember when I was in the cadets and we had blanks, and they had the L98, like the cadet GP rifle, which was like a 5.56, and he put a milk carton on the end of it, a cardboard milk carton, and he shot a blank, and it literally just blew it to pieces. So he said, if you are that close to someone, you will, you know, do them some damage, regardless of it not firing a projectile. Definitely. It will still do them some serious damage. So,
well, it's like when we were doing the nighttime reenactments, and we were using the M1s and the Thompsons and things like that, especially on the M1 Garands, we're using 30-06 rounds. The muzzle flash is a good 2 foot. Yeah, and that's crazy, that's solid flame, because you've got to think you haven't got a projectile there for it to do what it's meant to be doing. So all that.
Which I'm guessing would just be combusting behind the bullet head itself, and then firing it. It's just going straight out the barrel, isn't it?
It's just going straight at someone. So like we used to say for our training, it was 30 meters, because 30 meters away, you still feel the hot, like, it wouldn't damage you as much, but you still feel the hot little bits of metal and stuff hitting your hands and your arms and stuff. So yeah, it's 100%. It should be. They should be. I think they should be used more, definitely. But I think they definitely need to be.
There's got to be
used by the owner.
Yeah, there'd have to be a huge amount of control, or some very trusted sort of, like, it can't just be, oh yeah, well, I bought this the yesterday, going to try it the first time this weekend sort of thing, because it's like, well, no, because you've not handled it enough, and you've not got your head around the fact that it's a blank. You know, you'll still be going from your sidearm to your main, thinking, "Oh yeah, it's just a bear." It's not. No, it's not.
No.
That doesn't fire BBs. That fires, and you'll be in that situation where you'll need to get used to it. The fact that it's a blank fire, it's not like an airsoft sidearm or whatever it is. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, gun safety at that point is important. It's not just, I mean, obviously I know that always people rack on about gun safety in airsoft and whole trigger fingers and stuff like that. And don't get me wrong, I appreciate it's important, but it is not necessarily going to kill you. A BB, it will cause you severe damage, and that's why it's important. iPro should always be worn, in my opinion, whenever you're playing around with a rift that potentially could shoot anything. But I mean, all you've got to look at is obviously the Rust film shooting incident.
Yeah.
They were for all intents and purposes playing with blank pistols at the time, and they're in a professional environment. Something has gone wrong, and people have died. Or a person has died.
Yeah.
But
see, that's one thing I don't understand with that. Just like going off here, how is that weapon capable of firing an actual real bullet?
Blank firers can.
But surely that should be something in the barrel that prevents a live round.
Yeah, so I think it's
different sizes
and
and
legality.
How can you load a live round into a blank firer? This is what I don't get.
I think in the UK, blank firers have to have the gas that's coming out of it. A lot of them have to fire upwards. It's not always a case of coming up the front.
Because Rage is saying because it was a real firearm.
Yeah,
it wasn't a blank fire.
Oh, so over here we're just firing blanks.
Yeah, over here.
Oh, so it's a real gun firing blanks
license,
right?
Yeah.
Oh well.
Over here you can have a Section 5 firearm license, and then that doesn't account. Because when I had my M1 Garand, I had a Section 5 firearm license, which means that it could hold the full 8 rounds. But it was still front venting, all the rifling inside the barrel had been taken out. So if I did ever get a 3006 in there, it'd just come out the end and just fly wherever it wanted because it had no rifling. But I still had to have it on a Section 5
which, if anything, would be a lot worse potentially.
Yeah. But yeah, it's one of those. I'm not sure because I know recently all the shotgun and firearms laws changed quite dramatically. They had a massive overhaul of it. But yeah, it's been a few years since I've had a blank firer, but mine was on a Section 5 firearms. But the way I look at it, going back to your trigger discipline, if it looks like a gun, even if it's a rift, pick it up as it would be a gun. Don't put your finger on the trigger, because all you know is, especially on an event like this where it could be a blank firer, you're picking it up and you've got no trigger discipline. Yeah. You've picked it up and you've shot at someone. They lose the side of their face.
Harking back to the cadets again, that's one of the things you learned prior to going on ranges was like your weapons drill, sort of things, like your safety checks and all that. Like I remember you'd go into a room, there'd be an instructor there, and it'd just be a rifle laying on the floor, and you'd have to think about what you'd do first. Would be like ensure the safety catch is on, which is then a rifle sort of element safety. I'm trying to remember this. I'm going back a long time now. I'm sure it was safety catch on, remove magazine, that gets it out of the way, and then cock it, safety catch, hold bolt release catch, put that on. And then the 3 points, front, middle and rear, release the bolt catch, safety off, single shot, safety on, and I think that's it, just to prove that the weapon was safe. I remember I cocked up once, and the one thing I didn't do, they only put 4 rounds or 5 rounds in the magazine, but I didn't take the mag off. So I checked the safety, then I cocked it, and then a round came out, and I was like, oh, God. And I did it, just being so nervous. You know what I mean? Just did it. And he said, well, it's not wrong because you've got all the rounds out. He said, but you could have just took the magazine off. And I was like, yeah, that's a very good point. Sorry, Mister.
Yeah, that's why you're the.
But I had to do that anyhow because, in a way, I was right because afterwards you had to speed load a magazine, so I had all my bullets out of it already. Yeah. So it sort of worked in my favour, but I'll never forget that. That's so great. I wish I could go back and do it again. Brilliant. There we go.
I know. Just to clarify, I know we just said bullets. I know they're not bullets. The bullets are the bit that comes out. But
oh, whatever. Fucking yeah.
Just in case there's anyone, all those YouTube people, they're wrong. They're wrong.
Yes, you said it wrong.
Kenny says new UK blank firing weapons port gas up instead of out of the barrel. New spec.
Is that the new spec ones? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can still get the old spec ones, can't you? That were done before. I've forgotten when they changed it. 73 or something for the later ones, where they're still front venting as well. But I'm not sure when the new new ones, unless that's a new spec. As I said, I know that they changed it. I know all the Thompsons. I know all the Thompsons had to be
Trigger discipline. There you go.
top venting.
Forgot my username. Says get that muscle memory, so you're trigger disciplining everything: airsoft riffs, Nerf guns, handheld Dysons.
Yeah. I generally do it on the Dyson.
Knife and fork when you're eating.
Yeah, I hold the Dyson like that.
Defiant have jumped in because obviously they are an event organisers that have blank firers.
Yes.
We have to ensure that people using them are sensible, prove that they're competent, and adhere to the rules for blank fire pistols, including MEDs and no usage indoors.
Yeah.
I mean, I think ultimately, with Rage's question, we obviously have seen blank firers. They are impressive, bangs, loud noises. It adds that realism. You've got shells ejecting and stuff like that. It's obviously exciting. But I think fundamentally we agree.
It's the smell, isn't it?
But just use them safely. They've got to be used safely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, fair one.
Rage says every event I've been to, blank firers, I've been swept with it from less than 5 feet. Seeing people just chucking them to each other, waving them about.
Nope.
That's
not how you do it.
I agree with that.
You need to be coshed around the head with it. Don't fucking do that.
If you can't be trusted.
Says, interestingly. Sorry, Andy, go on.
No, that's all right. I was going to say, if you can't be trusted, it will be taken away.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Ryan says, so MOD safety rules at blank fire distance is 1 metre for the military, but 100 metres for civilians.
Oh.
Yeah, but the armies, you lot are like nails, aren't you?
Yeah, you're hard.
Double ARD.
Absolute nails.
Ray says blanks don't have the same amount of powder as in a proper round.
No, they're quarter. But they still enough spit out.
Yeah. Aren't they louder as well, blanks? Are blanks louder because it's the combustion's not got anything behind it, there's no force, it's just all out of the barrel, there's nothing there. There's no projectile.
It's quicker as well. Like the flame that comes out the front is quicker than what a bullet comes out the front. Blank firers are awesome.
Understand the physics of that. Yeah.
That's the one.
Mark says when I was in the CDTS many moons ago with the GP rifle, had some junior fire it way too close and burned the back of my ear.
Bastard! Did you slap him?
Oh, cadets, CDTS. Oh, such an idiot.
I didn't want to correct you.
I was going to say, I was like, I'm sure he means cadets.
I mean cadets. Oh, it's not my engine. It's really not. I'm struggling. The old CDTS.
Back in the day, CDTS.
Oh, where's the yawn? Kieran says Lance make safe is a full-on load followed by a load, i.e. rounds in mag, no rounds in the chamber. Or at least it was when he was in the CDTS.
In the CDTS, mate. Yeah, back in the old CDTS. God blimey.
So.
Yeah, sure. It was the L98 Cadet GP rifle. I think that's what we had. It was basically an SA80, but it was a single shot, and it had a longer cock and handle, like a longer action. All very good fun.
Nice.
Yes.
Right, we'll probably come to the end of this evening's show. So thank you very much for everybody for joining us.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much for everyone for joining us. That's what I was trying to say.
If
you want to get in touch with the show to give us feedback on how I can't talk tonight, or in fact to convey any useful information, you can do so on email at nofochat@hotmail.com. Our Instagram is at November_Foxtrot_NoFo, or our website is novemberfoxtrot.co.uk. You can very well tweet us if you'd like to as well.
What was that?
Well, tweet. You can also tweet us on our Twitter, which is at NoFoChat. I warn you now, we won't be posting much on there, but we do have that, and it does link to my phone.
I won't be anyhow. I have no idea.
No,
he hasn't even given me or Lance the access yet. So it's only mine.
He's very unlikely to as well.
I've got to download the app.
If you want to get in touch with just me, you can do it on Twitter. If you want to get in touch with the guys, you can also contact us on our own Instagrams at 9VoltAirsoft, at @callsign_Quartermaster, or at _punished_1_. There you go.
Dale says Mike won't be here next week as he is away with the CDTS.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Yes. I'm gonna have to come up with some really cool sounding full acronym that stands for.
Good luck.
Yeah. Can't ducking talk sometimes.
That'll do. That's quite good, actually.
There you
Well
go.
done.
Yeah, that
Thank
was
you very
right.
much. Cheers.
On the fly, you've redeemed yourself this evening.
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely.
Thank you. Right, well, I'm going to go and play with my new hat and see if I can make myself look cool in any way at all. Guys, Lance, do you want to do the closing? We came up with a new thing last week. We're going to do closing remarks. So would you like to provide some closing remarks?
Not really.
There you go.
Thank you for
Perfect.
that.
Brilliant.
Next week, we are going to be talking about...
Sorry, did I miss a memo or something? What closing fucking remark?
So like last week, Mike goes, "Have you got anything to say? Have you got anything to say?" And I went, "Yeah, don't be dicks." And then we ended the show, and it worked rather well. So do you?
I'll tell you what. I'll give you a
closing
couple.
statement?
You've got a couple minutes to come up with a closing statement, if you'd like to, because we're going to be talking Milsim Rolls 3 next week. So that'll be the one that we were going to do a few weeks ago when we were talking about the Defiant event that turned into a full Defiant debrief. We're going to be talking about Milsim specific roles, so medic roles, IED, EOD,
PDT.
Vets.
No, because IED is the explosion.
Vets is in
EOD
animal
is the-
vets. I don't mean veterans. I mean like vets, animal vets. Oh fuck! I shouldn't have said that.
We're going to be talking all that sort of lovely stuff. Well, I mean, metal detecting. We've had an event.
G'day, Phil.
Interrogations and bits and pieces like that.
You
so,
mongrel.
Yeah.
Coffee and toast for Phil. It's about 7 a.m. in
isn't
Osland.
He's had a line.
Fresh Meat says, "Wish I fired blanks."
You need to get a bigger telly, mate. That's what your trouble is.
Right, Lance, would you like to provide any closing remarks?
I would, yes. I'd just like to make everyone aware that video piracy is a crime. They shouldn't accept it. You should demand a genuine cassette from your video store. Poor quality illegal video cassettes reduce your viewing pleasure and jeopardise future film production. Thank you.
See you next week.
Yeah. See you next week.
Bye.
Oi, stay NoFo.